Oh, yeah. Is it Saturday already? Have we made it through yet another week of Star Wars news? And this was probably the biggest week of Star Wars news by far in 2026, with D23 giving us Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, a Starfighter teaser trailer, the release schedule for Maul Shadow Lord coming out in 2027. And if that's not enough, we're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi being on the set of Ahsoka Season 2, Dave Filoni giving us the roadmap for what the future of Star Wars content is going to look like, and more Starfighter plot leaks. Everything we thought we knew about the upcoming Star Wars movie might just be wrong. We got a lot to get into today and not a lot of time, so without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday afternoon? Oh, it's the weekend, and it's quite a great time to be a Star Wars fan this August 22nd of 2026, because we're talking about the brand new Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, of course, that has given us just the most insane amount of hype for Star Wars fans for the next upcoming Star Wars live-action show. And now we got to talk about the next Star Wars movie, which comes out on screens just 4 months after the next said live-action show. And the president, or co-president, Dave Filoni, has been talking quite a bit about the future of Star Wars and what's going to happen with, legacy characters and future characters, Old Republic, post-sequels, Mandoverse content, all of it. So we're going to talk about that stuff, but before we dive into any of it, let's start the stream the only way we know how, by saying hi to everybody in the chat. Shall we? Are you on time today, chat? Aaron, how we doing? 730 Evie, what is up? Holly in the house. Papa Boz, what is up? Millie in the building. The Court Jester, what is up? Grand Admiral Xavier, how we doing? Darth Plagueis lives, what is up? 730 Evie, oh, I already said you, but you get two, I guess, today. Snips, how we doing? Charles the Unicorn, Charlie, my bad. Melissa, what is up? Ron in the house. Okay, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chats. Let's give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
All right, I think we got to start with this whole... well, you know what? Let's start this stream watching the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer. Why not get hyped up beyond belief by starting with a 2-minute trailer for the next Star Wars show? How about that? Grand Admiral Thrawn, Ahsoka Tano, Abeloth, Bale and Skull, a war in our Star Wars. Flashbacks to the Clone Wars with young Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. Why not? Let's start watching the trailer. Let's do that. Let's just get a little hyped up. Why don't we? Let's do this. Put that full volume right there. Let's start the stream the right way. Let's start it. I saw someone bring it up, and we might have to start every stream like this, by the way, because it just gets you in the mood to talk about Star Wars. It just gets you so ridiculously hyped up. You can't watch that trailer and not have a smile on your face, unless, you got something going on where you're like, having a bad day. Whatever. Just put this on. You'll put a smile. It'll put a smile on your face. But I read something, people debate all the time, like, what's the best Star Wars show? What's the best Star Wars movie? A debate that will go on for the rest of time because, everybody has different opinions. But the question was posed, is this the best trailer for a Star Wars show? It's hard to think of a better one. I will grant you that. It's very hard to think of a better one. You're getting Clone Wars flashbacks with Anakin and Ahsoka. You're getting Thrawn declaring war on the Rebel Alliance. You're getting Bale and Skull. You're getting Ahsoka and Sabine going up against these weird droid-like things. Crazy amounts of action. Lightsaber duels in the trailer. It might just be the best trailer for a Star Wars show ever. I can't think of a better one. I cannot. So somebody please, if you have another one, let me know in the chat. I can't think of another one. With The Mandalorian Season 2, as great as that season was, they kept all the secrets from us. They didn't show us Luke or Boba Fett or Ahsoka or Bo-Katan. None of that is in the trailers. This gives us so much in the trailers, which begs the question, what are they hiding from us? Well, I'm very glad I asked myself that question, because that's the topic at hand today, or at least one of the topics at hand for today's live stream, and that is Ewan McGregor in the fact that Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi was on the set of Ahsoka Season 2, and Ewan accidentally confirmed it himself. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. So, with this interview from Variety magazine, do magazines exist still, Chet? I'm not quite sure. But Ewan McGregor himself had this to say. Ewan McGregor reveals that he met with Dave Filoni to discuss the future of Star Wars. As he said this, I did have a meeting down in London to discuss, what would be next with Dave Filoni. Now, there's a lot more than just this quote, because guess what was happening in London? Guess why he was there? Guess what he was doing whilst in London? Yeah, that's right. He was visiting the set of Ahsoka Season 2. In this interview, Ewan McGregor reveals, because his wife plays Hera Syndulla. If you didn't know, breaking news, if you didn't know, Hera Syndulla is played by actress Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And actress Mary Elizabeth Winstead is married to, in real life, Ewan McGregor. So you could write it off as, just a husband visiting his wife on set. Or what's really going on here is Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi's going to be in Ahsoka Season 2. Now, I have many, many, many reasons to believe that this is the case. Shout out to Holly for the 18-month membership. Holy crap, that's insanely generous. But what if he was just visiting? That is a possibility. I will grant you that. That is it's a possibility. I don't know if it's the likely possibility. And, well, let's dive into this.
This is where the fun begins.
We are coming off the backs of at least 18 months. Let's just say 18 to play it sort of on the conservative side of things. We'll say 18. All right, 18 months. We are coming off the backs of 18 months of rumors of Ewan McGregor, this guy right here, being in Ahsoka Season 2. Now, this is coming from very reliable sources, very bad sources, all over the place. We have heard from scoopers and industry insiders all across the board that this man right here will be in Ahsoka Season 2. None of it has been confirmed by Lucasfilm. None of it has been confirmed by Ewan himself. It's all just been a rumor for now, so take it with a giant grain of salt, is what I would always say. However, now, with the confirmation that he was not only in London having conversations with Dave Filoni, but also on the set of Ahsoka Season 2, now you add to that fact all of the rumors and leaks that we've had about him being in Season 2, it seems like a no-brainer. They've already given us Clone Wars flashbacks in the trailer for the show. Clone Wars flashbacks, by the way, which are, confusing, to say the least. Who is that guy in the forest? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Whoa, I think I figured that out, but we'll talk about that in a second. Why is it not pertaining to the Mortis gods? Well, I think it is, but that's besides the point. If they are already giving us the Clone Wars flashbacks in the teaser trailer for a show that doesn't come out for another 150 days, 5-ish months, they must be keeping some bigger secrets. Now, maybe it's just Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. That would be enormous. I mean, think about the craziness that was Hayden Christensen in the Anakin Skywalker Clone Wars armor. It freaking blew up the internet. They had to put the episode on the big screen. They put it in movie theaters. It was that big. So imagine Obi-Wan Kenobi. Imagine his master now in his Clone Wars armor. Something that Ewan has been very vocal about over the last 2 or 3 years when he goes to Comic-Cons or fan expos or whatever. He's on stage saying, I'd love to get into that Clone Wars armor. So would the fans. So it seems like a no-brainer to have him be in Ahsoka Season 2 if you are going to do more Clone Wars flashbacks, especially if you are going to explain the Mortis gods in these flashbacks, because it wasn't just Ahsoka Tano and her master, Anakin Skywalker, who went to Mortis. There was a third person there, chat. There was a third person. And that person was Obi-Wan Kenobi. So why would we get flashbacks to explain the Mortis gods and not involve Obi-Wan? Let me actually put this up in a poll first before we go any further. If you have not already, smash a freaking like in this stream, please, and thank you. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Do you think, after all of this, Obi-Wan will be in Ahsoka season... Oh, that's not how you spell that. Ahsoka season 2. Yes or no? At this point, if it was just like one rumor or leak from some scooper, I would be like, no, probably not. But after, we're coming up on 2 years of this stuff. 2 years of leaks and scoops from these people saying that he's going to be in it. Ewan McGregor going to all these expos saying he wants to be in the Clone Wars armor. And now, confirmation that he was in London while filming for Ahsoka Season 2. He had meetings with Dave Filoni, and we can talk about what that means for, a Kenobi Season 2 or a possible live-action Clone Wars series, which Hayden Christensen is talking about. But who knows what that means? All I know is I'm almost 99% sure at this point that Ewan McGregor will be in Ahsoka Season 2 in a Clone Wars flashback wearing the iconic Obi-Wan Kenobi armor. The white with, I'll show you. This. Oh, yeah, this. We will be getting this. Ewan McGregor in live-action Clone Wars armor. I am ready to put a lot of money on this. If I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I'd be ready to put a lot of money on this. Now, I do see some people talking about this. Let's talk about it. Why not? Let's talk about it. This guy. So, this is the flashback that we did get in the trailer. And the big question of the week, since the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer dropped this time last week, is who the hell is this guy? I posted a video yesterday sort of explaining my thoughts on this, and shout out to you if you've seen that video, but I will give a very brief description of what that video sort of is about. I think I figured it out. I think there's really no other option here than the theory that I have. And I know that sounds like, oh, my theory must be right and you're all wrong. No, absolutely not. I've been wrong many, many times before. However, when it comes to the theories of it being Marok before he turns into an Inquisitor or Star Killer or Exar Kun or something crazy like that, those all just, first and foremost, don't make any sense at all. Exar Kun is 4,000 years before this, at least in Legends and in canon. Star Killer. Star Killer is Vader's apprentice. And this is still Anakin's time, so that doesn't make any sense either. And then, I guess Marok, no thank you. No thanks. The idea that this character, and if you look at his face, and we'll zoom in nice and close, handsome fella. Okay, so look at the eye paint, or whatever you want to call it, the facial markings. He's got this eye paint down under his eyes, very, like that, and then it goes down into a straight line below on either side. The thing that people seem to have missed was this. These little, like, ear-looking things, or whatever you want to call them, spikes on the sides of his eyelids. You see that? Or eyebrows, whatever you want to call them. You see that right there, chat? You see that? This is why I am so certain of who this is. There's really no other option. There really is none. It's the son of Mortis. You see that right there? You see the two little spikes on the side of his eyebrow? You see the line under his eye and then go straight down into a... Yeah, there's no other option here. Like, this is it. This is it. So, I guess you're good. All right, so obviously this character is not this guy. At least not in reality. What I believe is happening here is this is a false memory. And Ahsoka sort of, her mind has created these false memories to explain her trip to Mortis. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan all go to Mortis, come back, and then don't mention it to another soul. Not to Master Yoda, not to Captain Rex, to nobody. In my explanation to that, and how I think they're going to explain it in the Ahsoka second season, is that they forgot. Maybe not that they forgot, but their minds were... their memories were replaced with false memories. And this is one of them. So Anakin, who is now in the afterlife, who remembers all because he's now one with the Force, he is trying to show Ahsoka what has truly happened. The same way in the book of Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker shows Grogu what happened to him because Grogu forgets Order 66. So Luke says, "Would you like to remember?" Puts his hand on his head, and we get a flashback to Order 66 as Grogu remembers what happened to him at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. So in a very similar way, in Ahsoka Season 2, we are going to get Force Ghost Anakin, maybe even place his hand on Ahsoka's head, which would be crazy, but having Ahsoka think back to her time versus this guy in the forest. And then I think slowly over time, as she begins to remember what truly happened, this character will flash to the sun and back and forth until her true memory has been recovered. And she remembers what happened on Mortis. And this would allow fans, normie fans who've never seen the Clone Wars, to understand who the Mortis gods are and why they are so significant. Why Baylan Skoll is standing on the statues of the Mortis gods at the end of Ahsoka Season 1. You don't want to just retell a story that fans have already seen and dumb it down for the people like us who have seen the Clone Wars, but you also have to explain it to the normie fans who've never seen that stuff. This is the best possible way. You have Ahsoka forget. She's forced to forget what happened on Mortis, and then she slowly remembers with the help of her master, who is now a Force ghost, who now remembers everything. There is no other reason for this guy to have the exact same facial markings as the son of Mortis. And yes, I saw somebody bring it up in the chat. Sam Witwer is the voice of the son. Is it possible that we could be getting Sam Witwer in live action playing the son of Mortis? Now, maybe he might not be under the face paint, but he will definitely be the voice of the character. So if you want more Sam in Star Wars, which everybody does, especially after coming off the backs of Maul Shadow Lord, you're going to get it. You're going to get it in 2027 because he's going to be in Maul Shadow Lord Season 2, and he might just be the voice and maybe even the face of the son in live action. That's going to be something really difficult for them to pull off, I think. That is the Mortis gods, because this is not easy. Look at the daughter. She's glowing. That's not easy to pull off. And they're giants. They're supposed to be gods, not humans. They're not supposed to look like Anakin and Ahsoka. They're supposed to be gods. So to pull that off in live action is going to be very difficult to accomplish, but hey, I have faith. I got all the faith in the world. All I know is Sam Witwer back as the son of Mortis.
This is where the fun begins.
So, all that to say, thank you, Holly. That's just a reminder, I guess. All that to say, I think I've figured out who this guy is, and I think it's the father of Mort. What is happening? Oh, we got a super chat. I was like, why is it screaming at me? Darth Plagueis lives, the very generous $5 super chat, says, Clone Wars Obi-Wan? Live action Clone Wars? Am I dreaming? Am I still asleep? No, you're not. This is real. This is real life. It may sound crazy, but this is real life. It is funny because as Star Wars fans, you almost forget how great we have it, how great of a time it truly is to be a Star Wars fan, because if you were sitting here 2 weeks ago on our Saturday live stream and you came in and said to me, Mike, this Ahsoka Season 2 trailer is going to give us Clone Wars flashbacks, a new mysterious character that people are going to lose their minds about in the Clone Wars, this guy right here. And Thrawn's going to declare war on the New Republic, or call them the Rebel Alliance, in the trailer. We're going to get lightsaber duels in the trailer. Enoch with a new Blade of Talzin looking thing versus Ezra Bridger on Dathomir. We're going to get tie-ins to possibly Atten and the Skeleton Crew and Corellia. And Thrawn's going to have an entire fleet. I would look at you like you're crazy. I would look at you like you are an idiot, and I would probably call you an idiot. But here we are, 2 weeks later, and all of that is true. This trailer blew our minds. It was way above and beyond what we thought it was going to be. And it's the teaser trailer. It's 5 months away. This is barely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Ahsoka Season 2. An 8-episode series that has to get more done in 8 episodes than ever before. Are you kidding me? We don't talk about Atten. Oh, let's talk about Atten. So this trailer is full of just insanity. But Darth Plagueis, I appreciate the super chat. Yes, Clone Wars, Obi-Wan. I'm at 99.9% sure we're getting it in Ahsoka Season 2. Live action Clone Wars is a completely different conversation. Hayden Christensen has said some things, and it's gotten people really, really excited for a possible live action Clone Wars. Let's just pull up the clip here. Okay, so Hayden Christensen was on the Jonas Brothers podcast. Yes, this is real. This is real life. Oh my God, Holly with the holy crap, insanely generous $20 super chat. My goodness, that's generous. Says, is Pelion returning? The actor recently is wearing a crew jacket. Okay, we'll come back to the live action Clone Wars thing with a super chat like that. We got to get to what Holly's talking about. Holy shit, that's insane. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right, let's do this. So, is Pelion coming back? We actually have some news on that. So I'm glad you brought it up. Pelion almost actually made the thumbnail for today's live stream, but he was cut last minute. Sorry. Okay. This. Morai the Messenger. Missed this back in April, and I'm sure it's been reported since, but it would appear that Xander Berkeley, sure, Xander is returning as Captain Pelion in Ahsoka Season 2. Notice the cast and crew jacket that he is wearing. So, this is the actor who plays Captain Pelion in Mando Season 3, in the Shadow Council meeting. So, he is coming back for this second season of Ahsoka, which, I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense. In Legends, in the Heir to the Empire trilogy, in Legends, Pelion is sort of Thrawn's right-hand man. He's his captain. So, in The Mandalorian Season 3, when they're talking about, in the Shadow Council, when they're talking about all these different plans that they have, Moff Gideon trying to, do what he's doing on Mandalore, which is create a clone army of Force-sensitive Moff Gideons. Hux's dad from the sequel trilogy, Hux, who is doing Project Necromancer, and I'm assuming Starkiller Base as well. And then this guy, Captain Pelion, who's like, but Thrawn is coming back. Aren't you guys all ready for Thrawn to come back? Because he's going to be our savior. He is going to be the guy who comes and saves all of us. Well, Moff Gideon died. Pelion was right. Thrawn is back. And, well, as, Star Wars fans, we know that the sequel trilogy happens eventually, so we know that Hux succeeds, Project Necromancer succeeds, and Starkiller Base in the First Order rise to power, along with Snoke. Thrawn is nowhere to be seen. However, for the time being, for the recent powers that be, Thrawn will be in charge, so Pelion was indeed right. So this character, who we haven't seen since Mando Season 3, which Mando Season 3 came out in 2023, I believe. Somebody fact check me on that. I think it's 2023. But Captain Pelion was in The Mandalorian Season 3 in the Shadow Council, and now he posted this on his Instagram with a Season 2 of Ahsoka crew jacket on. I mean, there's not much denying to do here. He's wearing the crew jacket. Like, obviously, he's going to be in this season. And I don't think anybody was really shocked by this revelation, I suppose, that Pelian's going to be in season 2. He is the right-hand man when it comes to Thrawn and his army. My thing is, how big of an army does Pelian have? Because in the Ahsoka season 2 trailer, we clearly see that Thrawn has a way bigger army than we thought. Right here.
His empire.
Oh, maybe not right there. Right here.
Turned.
Oh, go back. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 Star Destroyers. We know for a fact that he did not return from Peridia with 4 Star Destroyers. That's made evident. That obviously he just has the Chimera and he has the Eye of Sion, which he escapes back to the main galaxy with. So this must be Pelian's fleet. And don't even get me started on who that character might be off to the right. But that would be crazy. Either way, this must be Pelian's fleet. Yeah. It must be. Pelian is a clown? I'm confused. What's going on? Either way, it's 4 Star Destroyers is small potatoes. Maybe if you're Yelena, maybe if you are, maybe if you're a part of the new Avengers, maybe. Possibly. But this must be Pelian's fleet, and yes, there's no surprise there, but Pelian will be involved in Ahsoka season 2 and is confirmed by the actor himself. I don't know how big of a role Pelian will play, but it's still very cool nonetheless. Okay, but where were we? Oh yeah, live action Clone Wars. Let's go back there. So Hayden Christensen hopped on a podcast with the Jonas Brothers. It was at D23, so, it makes sense. But take a look at this. Oh, wait, let's unmute that.
Season 2. Can you give us, the fans, any secrets about season 2 or anything we should be expecting?
What I've had a lot of fun with is getting to play the character during the Clone Wars timeline,
Right, yeah.
which they did in the animated world, and that's a lot of fun just because it's a different side of the character. And I guess I can share that I play a Force Ghost version of Anakin as well,
Interesting, okay.
Jedi.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Is there a world in which we could see just a straight up Anakin show?
I know that like Ewan McGregor would love to do more with it, and I've heard Natalie would love to come back, and
we want it.
Sam Jackson, so you could get the band back.
Okay, so first of all, he starts by talking about how much he loves playing the Clone Wars era of Anakin. And he plays it again in Ahsoka Season 2. No surprise there, it's in the trailer. He even says that he plays a Force Ghost. Again, no surprise there, it's in the trailer. What he goes on to talk about, as one of the Jonas Brothers, I'm not quite sure which one, either, one of them, he asks the question, would you want a live-action Anakin show? And he talks about the Clone Wars, goes straight to the Clone Wars and says Ewan McGregor would love to come back. Natalie Portman has talked about wanting to come back. And Samuel L. Jackson. Now, there's a lot of things you could do with Hayden, Ewan, and Natalie that you can't do with Samuel L. Jackson. Because when it comes to the character of Padme Amidala, she may have died during the events of, Revenge of the Sith, but she could return in a Force vision. She could return in Vader's struggles to try and resurrect her from the dead, which we've seen time and time and time again in the canon of Star Wars, in comic books, in video games, in novels, all over the place. He's constantly trying to bring Padme back to life. So you could have Natalie Portman come back for something along those lines. Ewan McGregor, Kenobi Season 2, he is the master of Vader, so it could be another type of flashback or a vision sequence type deal. There's plenty of opportunities to give us Ewan as Obi-Wan and Natalie as Padme. When it comes to Samuel L. Jackson, his character, Mace Windu, is dead. And he would not appear in some sort of, resurrecting Padme type sequence. He would not appear in something where it's Obi-Wan versus Anakin, or Vader, I should say. He would only appear in something that is pre his death, pre him falling out the window or getting thrown out the window. Mace Windu fell out the window before the events of Revenge of the Sith. So it would have to be some sort of live action Clone Wars series or flashback sequence or something along those lines. And now this has fueled a insanely big fire in the Star Wars fandom, because there have been millions upon millions of Star Wars fans who've been begging for live action Clone Wars series. And here's where my problem lies with this entire idea of a live action Clone Wars series. It would just be retelling the animated show, which I am completely against. If there's a new story, and I don't know how the story would be important enough to tell a live action show about, I don't know. If they were going to do Clone Wars Season 7, let's say they never did Clone Wars Season 7, and they were going to do it in live action, then I would say, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. But that's not the case. So I don't want them to just retell a story that was in animation in live action for just live action purposes. No. We already have that story, and it's already done extremely well in animation. What I think is possible, or the most likely possibility, is these Clone Wars flashbacks. We already know for a fact we're getting a ton of them in Ahsoka Season 2. If they're giving it to us in the trailer, that means there's a lot more on the way. But the other option would be either a Vader show, which I don't think anybody would be opposed to a Vader show, or a Kenobi Season 2. Because Kenobi could be, we already got Clone Wars flashbacks in Season 1 of Kenobi, which was, Ewan and Hayden going at it as young Obi-Wan and Anakin from the Clone Wars days, or actually even pre-Clone Wars. But in a Season 2, you could flash back to anything. You could give us Satine content on Mandalore. You could give us Maul content on Mandalore. You could flash back to just about anything and give us Clone Wars flashbacks. So for people holding out hope for a full-on live-action Clone Wars series, I would say don't hold your breath. I would say that's most likely not going to happen. However, if you're just looking for more live-action Clone Wars content, period, then you're going to get it. You're going to get a lot of it, actually, in Ahsoka Season 2, and maybe in a possible future Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 as well. And the opportunity to at least bring back Natalie Portman along with the crew is very high, because she's been very vocal about wanting to return to Star Wars. And there's rumor that she actually filmed something for Kenobi Season 2 that was cut from the movie. So that reunion, getting the band back together, as he puts it, might happen a lot sooner than we might think. Yeah. So, having said that, tell me in the chat, do you want a Clone Wars live action show? And do you think we'll ever see Natalie Portman back in Star Wars? Now, she could appear in Ahsoka Season 2. We cannot take that out of the realm of possibility here, because Natalie Portman, Padme Amidala, has a very strong relationship in the Clone Wars with Ahsoka Tano. So this show, being titled Ahsoka, could very well have Padme make a very brief but really cool appearance in some sort of Clone Wars flashback. It's possible. It's very, very possible. The other option, which is probably my more preferable option, would be that she appears to Anakin and Ahsoka in present day in Ahsoka Season 2 as Abeloth. Like, Abeloth tricks the two of them by appearing to them as Padme Amidala, as Natalie Portman's Padme Amidala, to try to get free. How crazy would it be if Anakin and Ahsoka get tricked by Abeloth using Padme's likeness to free her from her prison? And then they have to deal with the ramifications of that. They have to actually put her back in said prison. And that's how you get to the point where Ahsoka has to ascend into a greater role, which is the daughter. And then Anakin becomes the son, and the father, and whoever becomes the son. There's a lot of opportunities to see Padme in Ahsoka season 2. That's not really the problem. The problem is the character the actor that he brings up at the end here, which is Samuel L. Jackson. Because I know he also really wants to come back to Star Wars. It's just his character. It's not possible. It's not possible. There's no way. Sounds a little like Shang-Chi. I don't remember what happens that somebody appears to somebody who's not. I don't remember what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. No. Okay, well, this is a perfect segue actually into what Dave Filoni was talking about for the future of Star Wars content. Let's take a look at this. Yes, Ahsoka did go to Padme's funeral. That is true. And that was sort of an added thing in the Tales series. But you can add a lot more to that because their relationship is very, very big. What the hell? Okay. Odd, but okay. All right, continuing. So, I appreciate the super chat, Holly. I really, really do. All right, let's do this. Dave Filoni talking about the future of Star Wars content. And this could, be very well talking about a possible live-action Clone Wars series or whatever you want to call it. Take a look at this. Dave Filoni explains his strategy for the future of Star Wars. Now, this is the president now. When we hear Dave Filoni's name, it's not like you're hearing a guy who just made the Clone Wars and made Star Wars Rebels. This is the guy who's in charge of what gets made and what doesn't now. He's the guy in charge, at least for Lucasfilm. There's obviously, he has his own bosses too, CEOs of Disney and everything. But here's what he had to say. We have several different generations of Star Wars fans, right? Obviously. I mean, you got prequel fans. Oh, he says it. There's original trilogy fans, prequel fans, sequel fans, Clone Wars fans, expanded universe fans. There's a lot of different generations of Star Wars fans. They all have different interests. And I always look at how we are going to serve all of those different interests. And most importantly, how do we bring them all together? Because they have this common love for Star Wars. Now, this is the almost unanswerable question and task that Lucasfilm has for the rest of time. Because Star Wars is so vast, because it transcends generations, you have to somehow please all of the fans at the same time. That means, for Clone Wars fans, giving them that live-action Clone Wars content that they're looking for. For prequels fans, giving them that live-action Clone Wars content that they're looking for. Sequel fans, giving them a Rey movie, giving them The Hunt for Ben Solo, which he did say is not in development, at least currently. Giving them a continuation of those characters. Giving us the Legacy novel, which is unbelievably good, by the way. Just finished it last week. And then the original trilogy fans, giving us Luke Skywalker at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2, giving us Luke training Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett, hopefully giving us Leia in Ahsoka Season 2. More stories with those characters that we know and love. Pleasing all of those different generations of fans is nearly impossible, by the way, like an impossible task, but it leads to different storytelling. It leads to a year where you can get Maul Shadow Lord, which is an animated series about Maul, Palpatine's apprentice, fighting Darth Vader. You can also get, in that same year, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which has no lightsabers in it. It has a baby version of Yoda, named Grogu, a Mandalorian bounty hunter who's working for the New Republic. It has Hutts, it has the Crime Syndicate, it has Embo, it has all this crazy stuff, and it's a movie. Then you can have Star Wars Visions, or a Visions spinoff. Star Wars Visions presents The Ninth Jedi, and all that comes with that. An anime Star Wars Legends story. And then 2 video games, one about pod racing and one about a Clone Wars story. And into next year with Ahsoka Season 2, which is all about this new lore and a war in our Star Wars with Grand Admiral Thrawn, the heir to the Empire. And then Starfighter, a movie that takes place 5 years beyond everything. So what they have to balance is all of these different things at the same time. All these different generations of fans at the same time. You can have a project like Andor, which has no lightsabers, no force, no nothing, but it's about the rebellion. It's about that same group that helped create the group you see in A New Hope, while also giving you at the exact same time, in the exact same spot in the timeline, Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, which is very involved with the Force and Jedi and the Rebellion. So 2 shows about the same thing could not be any further from each other. They're so vastly different, it's insane. And that's how you do it. That's how you please everybody. You give them a grounded Star Wars story with Andor, and you give them Jedi with Rebels. They both tell the same story. They both have the same end goal, but they're so vastly different. Now, for, I guess, you're looking at what Dave Filoni's spitting out here, we don't know what comes out after Ahsoka Season 2. It's the last live-action show that has a release date, or has any announcement, actually. So, will they be making a second season of Kenobi? Book of Boba Fett? Skeleton Crew? The Acolyte? Or something else? Or something completely new that we just don't know about yet? Because every project that we've had up until this point was something new that we just didn't know about yet. Skeleton Crew or The Mandalorian even. Those were announced and we went, what? We went, why would we need this? Whose idea was this? And then it turns out to be Andor or The Mandalorian, something really, really, really good. So in order to please the original trilogy fans, I think this means you're getting Leia, you're getting Luke, you're getting Han Solo involved in the Mandoverse stories. There's no way to go about it. If Thrawn is the heir to the Empire, if Thrawn is as big a threat as we think he's going to be, Luke, Leia, and Han need to be involved in some way, shape, or form in the destruction of the Grand Admiral, of the Big Blue Meanie. For prequel fans, you're getting Clone Wars flashbacks. You're getting Hayden Christensen back. You're probably going to get Ewan McGregor back again, and maybe even a Kenobi Season 2 with Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon Jinn as a Force ghost. So, prequel fans, we're doing just fine. Clone Wars fans, same thing. When it comes to the sequel fans, this is where things get really interesting. Because the sequel trilogy is such a shaky topic, to say the least. I mean, even just the mention of the sequel trilogy creates this reaction from all Star Wars fans, whether good or bad. But that is the future. When you go beyond The Rise of Skywalker, you're going beyond the sequel trilogy, and you're going to have characters like Finn, Rey, Poe, Chewie, and others appear in the post-sequel world. So when Simon Kinberg's trilogy comes out, you better believe that Rey's going to be in it. When the Rey movie comes out, Rey's going to be in it. They just had an entire novel set up the new Jedi Order that Rey is going to establish. And then there's Starfighter. Star Wars Starfighter, the next Star Wars movie. 5 years after the sequel trilogy, but seemingly unconnected. We got leaks and rumors from a couple months ago that there would be a new Jedi temple on this planet of Adaria, where Aaron Pierre would be a lightsaber wielder with the Force. By the way, has anybody seen Lanterns yet? Give me a 1 to the chat if you've seen the new Green Lanterns show on HBO. I watched the first episode last night. It's really good. Okay, sorry. It was just one episode, but it was good. Aaron Pierre is Jon Stewart in Lanterns, so that's why I mentioned it, because he's going to be in Star Wars. Amy Adams, Force user with a lightsaber. Mia Goth, Force user with a lightsaber. However, with all of those leaks about Jedi and Force users and lightsabers, none of that is in the teaser trailer that we got at D23 last weekend. None of it. It's just Ryan Gosling and Flynn Gray, and the two of them have zero hints at being Force users, zero anything to do with lightsabers, nothing. It was all about this Starfighter and Ryan Gosling's character, Cade Oberon, Cade, who is from the wrong side of the galaxy. He's not a good guy. He's a Han Solo type, but even worse. No lightsabers, no Jedi, no nothing. And now, I'm starting to think that these leaks might not be telling the truth. Because the head writer for Starfighter, had this to say about the movie. Take a look. Star Wars Starfighter writer Jonathan Trooper would have two O's. Jonathan Trooper says that it's a simpler movie, free of the franchise mythology, meaning free of the Force, the Jedi, and all that great mythology that comes along with it. But that can't possibly be the case. All right, let's read it. Let's read this. There has been one recurring promise surrounding Star Wars Starfighter. It's that Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling are trying to give audiences something genuinely new in a galaxy increasingly weighed down by decades of interconnective mythology. Sean Levy has previously described the movie as a standalone adventure, and now screenwriter Jonathan Trooper is expressing just how deliberately simple they wanted this film to be. Speaking with Deadline's Crew Call podcast about Apple TV's Lucky, Trooper explained that when he landed the Star Wars assignment after having already made 3 movies with Sean Levy, he said this: I was fortunate to have done 3 movies before with Sean Levy. They approached Sean and said, we want you to do a Star Wars movie and you can pick your writer. And I landed the gig. Well, that's pretty great to hear. At that point, however, Levy and Trooper didn't know what their Star Wars movie would be. What eventually emerged was Starfighter, which stars Gosling as a cynical rogue Cade Oberon, a character confronted by his mysterious past and thrust into a dangerous galactic adventure alongside young character played by Flynn Gray. The titular ship is a G-17 Imperial Reaper, the fastest ever built, which just happens to be sitting in Cade's garage. So a lot of mystery to that, but it has nothing to do with the Force, nothing to do with the Jedi that were in the leaks. But Trooper says the creative priority was to separate the film from the much-established Star Wars mythology as possible. Now, this might be good news to some people. This might be bad news to some people. To me, personally, I don't like this. Star Wars is interconnected because it should be. The galaxy works in a way where, yeah, maybe characters like Jar Jar Binks don't know of or interact with a character like Finn or Rey, because they shouldn't. But the mythology still stands. Everything with the Force still is there. And although these characters and projects may not be connected like the Acolyte all the way to the Mandalorian, but there's still a through line which makes it Star Wars. So it's an odd take to have, to try and separate yourself as much as possible from what makes Star Wars so great. But let's continue. What we wanted to do was to tell a story that was free of the Star Wars mythology, he explained. We were out ahead of the in the timeline, and we wanted something with as few barriers of entry as possible for new fans and viewers. Now that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. You don't want to have people have to watch 1,000 shows and movies to understand Starfighter. You don't have to watch the entire Skywalker saga to understand this next movie. That makes sense. But to just disconnect it from the mythology entirely does not to me. That idea lines up with what Trooper discussed with the playlist earlier this summer when he spoke about wanting to recapture an uncomplicated adventure of encountering the original Star Wars before generations of lore accumulated around it. This time, speaking to Deadline, he was even more explicit about what Starfighter won't require audiences to know. So he wants to recapture A New Hope, which I love the sound of that. But he wants to recapture the fact that you don't have to have seen anything before, which I understand, but they've done that before with other projects. Think about Maul Shadowlord or Ahsoka, which we got Maul Shadowlord this year. You don't have to have seen anything. You don't have to have seen anything that came out before. It would certainly help if you've seen Rebels before Ahsoka season 1, but you don't have to. And I think it's possible to accomplish that with a new Star Wars project like Starfighter, but it's not necessary. You know? Okay, continuing. This isn't a Skywalker saga movie. This is made very clear here. And why is it not letting me just... Okay. It is not a Skywalker saga movie. I'm okay with that. I don't want it to be. The Skywalker saga has come to an end, as it should. But we are not dealing with the history of the rebellion, the First Order, the Resistance, the Empire. We are beyond all of that. It's a simpler movie. So, this is 5 years after the sequels. All of that is gone. The Empire, the First Order, the Resistance, it's all gone. So what does the galaxy look like? Who's the powers in charge? Those are things we want to know, but he's calling this a simpler movie. We might not even get any of that in this film. Now, the problem with this report and the problem with what Jonathan is saying, and he is the lead head writer for this movie, the director of the film, Sean Levy, is talking about how Tom Cruise came to set in a helicopter, landed, and filmed entire scenes where it's lightsaber on lightsaber fight sequences. He said that Tom Cruise was filming a lightsaber fight in the mud after he flew in on his helicopter. So how can we not be diving into the mythology of what Star Wars is, while also having a new Jedi Order with lightsaber wielders, Amy Adams and Aaron Pierre playing possible Jedi in this movie? How are we not going to dive into what came before in the mythology of the Skywalker saga? Those two things cannot be true at the same time. They can't. You can't have Tom Cruise coming onto set and filming a lightsaber duel while the writer of the movie is saying we are going away from the mythology and it's a simpler movie. One thing is not like the other. So, what do we think's happening here? Is the entire leak of this new Jedi temple on this Adaria planet just not real? Is Sean Levy somehow lying to us about Tom Cruise coming to set and filming a lightsaber? That can't possibly be the case. The characters could have just found lightsabers and have no idea what they are. Possibly. Even in Andor, there were Force healers. Also true. Also true. He does go back to the idea of A New Hope. In A New Hope, because George Lucas only thought that he was going to be able to make one movie, it's very much a beginning, middle, and end. It's a condensed story in and of itself. It does have the, crazy connections to the broader mythology that is Star Wars. Obviously, it sets up all the Jedi Order, the Force itself, and every crazy thing that comes with that. But it also gives you hints towards the Clone Wars and the Empire and all that came before and the Old Republic and everything. The Jedi Order. But it is a self-contained story. Luke Skywalker, this farm boy, gets set off on this adventure, takes down the evil Galactic Empire, or at least their Death Star, and there's a medal ceremony at the end. It's very much a closed ending. Maybe that's what he's talking about here. That's just how this movie works. It's a beginning, middle, and end, and that's it. But it's very strange that we know for a fact that there will be lightsaber duels in this movie. That we know for a fact that there's a lot more to this than just Ryan Gosling's character being a starfighter pilot. And the entire minute-long teaser trailer that we got at D23 last week for this movie was just about this guy, Flynn Gray, and the fact that he's sort of just a bad guy, or not the greatest guy. I mean, his logo is a skull and bones, but the skull is the Rebel Alliance upside down. he is not the greatest of guys. He just happens to have a really quick speeder bike. Or starfighter, sorry. A large part of the lightsabers were destroyed after Order 66, or they just quit working. Well, you have to imagine that a lot of lightsabers were created after with Luke's Jedi Temple. All of his apprentices, Padawans, if you will, all crafted their own lightsabers. But yeah. Mike, any Star Wars book you'd recommend? Well, right now I'd say Legacy, because it just came out and it's really, really good. But, I mean, if you want to go canon books, I'd go Shadow of the Sith is great. Catalyst is really good. Master and Apprentice. Is that, yeah, it's canon. But if you're going Legends, I'd go Bane Trilogy, Plagueis novel. Canon, I mean, Heir to the Empire for Legends, but canon, all the Thrawn books, both trilogies, Thrawn Ascendancy. Yeah, I guess that's plenty. That'll take you months and months to finish. Yeah. But going back to Starfighter. Sorry, I'm hearing things, chat. Going back to Starfighter, it is odd that we are not getting any glimpses of lightsabers, force wielders, or anything pointing towards that stuff in the 1-minute teaser trailer that we got for this movie. The only thing that comes anywhere close to something along those lines, and it's not really related that much, is this planet where they're going across the sea and there's these huge columns of water going up into the sky. It reminds you of some sort of, I don't know, ancient Sith or Jedi planet that has these crazy powers going on. I don't know. There's not a lot to go off of from the teaser trailer that we got. Yeah. The good news here for Star Wars fans and people who are excited for Starfighter is The Mandalorian and Grogu's first official trailer dropped in September of last year. If the marketing schedule is supposed to be the same for Starfighter, which I hope it's not, I hope it's like more for Starfighter. But if it's the same, that means at the very least, we will have an official trailer for this Starfighter movie by next month. Within the next 30 days, hopefully. Because as hyped up as we got for, that Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, because it was incredible from last weekend, the Starfighter trailer was good. It was not at all what I expected. And it did not give us nearly enough information to get, speculating about what Starfighter is going to be about. So, Jonathan Tropper saying that it's going to be a simpler story that goes away from the mythology, stays away from the Skywalker saga. Well, Sean Levy is talking about Tom Cruise coming to set and filming lightsaber duels. It's very hard to pinpoint what the hell this movie's going to even be about. How it's going to play into what the future of the Skywalker saga, what the future of Star Wars looks like beyond the Skywalker saga. Because this is the first ever movie 5 years after the sequel trilogy. We're going to be getting a Simon Kinberg trilogy and maybe even a Rey movie as well that take place beyond Starfighter. So how is the events of this movie going to affect that? Is Flynn Gray going to appear in those projects? Is Ryan Gosling going to appear in those projects? Or is he just a one and done? Are the villains of this movie going to be the villains of the next saga? Beyond that, is Matt Smith and Mia Goth going to show up time and time again in the future stories? Those are the questions we need answered. And right now, we don't have any of them. We don't even know if there's going to be a lightsaber in this movie because we haven't seen it yet. I guess we do because Sean Levy told us there is, but that's seeing is believing, I suppose. let me just see where you guys are at. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Star Wars Starfighter? Thoughts? On a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah. Mike, what if this story is like if they flipped A New Hope, where we are following more of the Han Solo character than going into the Force parts of Star Wars? So what you're sort of saying was if it's A New Hope, but Han Solo is the main character and Luke doesn't exist, it might be. That might be what we're looking at here. The only difference would be that I think Ryan Gosling's more of a bad guy, so to speak. I don't think he's going to end up being a bad guy, but he's going to be more on the bad guy type of thing, side of things. Yeah. Holy crap, these are some high scores. 8, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 10, 7, 6 because we don't know too much. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not at a 6. I'm probably around a 7.5, but a trailer that, if we get a trailer anywhere close to Ahsoka Season 2, then the hype level will be beyond belief. Because of Amy Adams, I'm at an 11. There you go. If Han Solo never took a job from that old fool and just continued smuggling, okay, yes, that's what Starfighter will be. If Han Solo said no to Obi-Wan and Luke, that is the plot of Starfighter. Crazy. But having said that, that's the update for Starfighter in terms of the plot. We don't know what's going on anymore because we're hearing very conflicting reports, so to speak. But let's do this. So this report came out. We're going to go back to all the Ahsoka Season 2 and everything else in a second here. Oh, wait. Before we actually get to that, we do have a little bit more Starfighter stuff. Sean Levy gives his description for Starfighter, or I guess gives this description of Starfighter. Take a look. Starfighter embodies the themes of hope, family, and adventure that have always been the core of Star Wars. But our story takes place in a period of time that has never been seen before, which has been a privilege to create and explore. You're talking new Jedi. I mean, well, yes, new Jedi. You're talking new droids. You're talking new spaceships. You're talking new government who's in control of the galaxy, new weapons, new everything. That's what intrigues me so much about the post-sequel world is the new. And the sequel trilogy was the same way. You got new ship designs. You got new droid designs like BB-8. You have the opportunity to explore things we've never seen before. And that's what he's talking about here. But family is the biggest one. From the leaks, we know that Amy Adams is the mother of Flynn Gray and maybe even the sister of Ryan Gosling's character. So it's sort of an uncle and nephew type situation here. Adventure, duh. Themes of hope, sure. A New Hope, all that great stuff. I mean, yeah, we'll see. But that's his description of Starfighter right there. I think there was one more thing from Starfighter. Oh yeah, this. Cade, describing Cade's character. This is Ryan Gosling describing it. Cade is a guy who is on the wrong side of the galaxy, whose fate is intertwined with the fastest starfighter ever built. So, wrong side of the galaxy, again, he's very Han Solo-esque, but even more on the wrong side, I think. And the way I see this going down, is the kid pulls him to the light. Sort of your classic trope. Very Mandalorian, actually. Mando, I don't think, was nearly as dark as they're going to go with Cade, but Din Djarin, he's a bounty hunter who kills people for a living and doesn't care about anybody. And then by the time we get Grogu around, now he cares for Grogu and he becomes a better man. That's what I think you're seeing with this. His Starfighter experience could come from being a First Order pilot, which would still be really great. But the fastest Starfighter ever built sounds pretty good to me. Sounds pretty good to me. All right, now let's talk about this. So this report came out today. Yeah, today. The most watched Star Wars shows of the year so far have been revealed, and they will surprise you. Now, I saw this article before the live stream, and I decided not to read it. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you guys are, but so far, I mean, my guess would be The Mandalorian because of the Mandalorian Grogu movie, but we haven't gotten a new season of The Mandalorian in 3 years, so maybe it's Maul Shadowlord, but it's an animated show, so it doesn't get nearly as many views. I don't know. Tell me in the comments, what do you think is the most watched Star Wars show of the year so far? So far. All right, let's see. A list of the most watched Star Wars shows on Disney Plus so far has been revealed. We'll be taking a look at the new data chart that shows the top 10 most streamed shows in the United States from January to June of this year. Whilst we've only had one new show drop this year, which was Maul Shadowlord, the back catalog of series are still trading below the new Disney Plus shows. The number of some of these shows are encouraging, considering a bit of quiet 12 months, because since Andor season 2, I suppose, or so when it comes to the galaxy far, far away. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So, most streamed Disney Plus original TV series from January to June, by minutes, and then by views. So by minutes, at number 1, Daredevil Born Again Season 2. No surprise there. This was Marvel's biggest show of the year. All the episodes came out this year. Wonder Man, same thing, came out this year. Percy Jackson, same thing, came out, I think, this year, right? Pretty sure. 4 is Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Okay, so the rewatch. Whoa. 5 is Maul Shadowlord. And by the way, as you look down here, okay, so Mando Season 1 is 6. Mando Season 1 came out 7 years ago, by the way. Percy Jackson Season 1 is 7. 8 is Mando Season 3, above Season 2. Surprising, to say the least. Phineas and Ferb Season 5 and Mando Season 2. So all 3 seasons of Mando are in the top 10. That's crazy. And the highest watched Star Wars show this year is Maul Shadowlord. And, by the way, the highest animated show on this list by a lot. I'm surprised to be sure, but a welcome one. Maul Shadowlord is peak. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But when it comes to the animated side of Star Wars, it's not nearly as big as the live action side. So this is shocking. All right, let's keep going. By views. So this is by views. The Punisher, which is a special, like it's just a one episode movie thing. It's a movie, really. Is number 1. Wonder Man, number 2. Daredevil Born Again Season 2, number 3. Percy Jackson Season 2, number 4. Maul Shadowlord, again, at number 5. The Muppet Show, it's a movie, I guess, at number 6. Mando Season 1, yet again, at number 7. Daredevil Born Again is a lot further down on this list. Percy Jackson, and then Mando Season 3, not Season 2. All right, now this is... Wait, what's the difference? Most streamed Disney Plus original TV season, and then most streamed Disney Plus original series. What the hell's the difference? So the entire season, maybe? Versus just... Wait, what? Most streamed Disney Plus original series. Most streamed Disney Plus original TV season. I'm lost. Okay. Oh. So it's the entire series. All seasons. Okay. All seasons of the shows. That makes more sense. Okay. So at number 1 is Daredevil Born Again. New season came out this year. Percy Jackson's number 2. New season came out this year. Oh, The Mandalorian's number 3. Hasn't had a new season in 3 years. Is number 3. But The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, of course, worked wonders. Speaking of wonders, Wonder Man is at number 4. Number 5 is the animated series, Maul Shadow Lord. Number 6 is Andor. Andor did not have a new season this year. Number 7 is Punisher. Number 8 is The Bad Batch. Whoa. Number 9 is the Book of Boba Fett. What? That's crazy. And number 10 is Loki. So you're telling me that more people were watching the Book of Boba Fett and The Bad Batch over Loki, season 1 and 2? Over WandaVision? Over, I don't know, what else is there? That's crazy. The craziest part about this is The Bad Batch is 3 seasons. Andor is 2 seasons. Mando is 3 seasons. Book of Boba Fett is 7 episodes. It's not even a full 1 season. It's 7 episodes. This is crazy. It's competing against 3 seasons, 2 seasons. I guess this is 1, but it came out this year at least. Book of Boba Fett is 4 years old. 2 seasons, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. 1 but came out this year. 1 but came out this year. 2 seasons came out this year. 3 seasons, 2 seasons. Are you kidding me? Book of Boba Fett on this list is crazy. And people said Star Wars is dead. Yeah. You know, I don't know, like, you might want to get your brain checked if you believe that to actually be true. Because as a Star Wars fan, I've never been more happy, satisfied, excited for Star Wars than I am right now in this current moment. Getting hyped up for Ahsoka Season 2, going back and being able to watch all these shows on Disney+, going back and be able to watch all the movies on Disney+. It truly is the greatest time to be a Star Wars fan. But this is crazy. Boba Fett, where? Yeah, that's a good one. This is crazy. I did not see this coming. Like, you could have put Ahsoka here and I would have been like, yeah. You could have put Kenobi here and I would have been like, okay, maybe. You could have put even the Acolyte here and I would have been like, okay, yeah, sure. But the Book of Boba Fett? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, continuing. So what do you think of these numbers? Yeah, so I'm shocked. I'm shocked that The Mandalorian Season 3 is higher than Season 2. I'm shocked that the Book of Boba Fett's even on this list and higher than Loki. I'm actually shocked that Bad Batch is on this list, honestly. Bad Batch is over Rebels and Clone Wars. Think about that for a second. Oh, I guess I take that back. I take it back. Clone Wars and Rebels are not Disney Plus original shows. That's my bad. That's my bad. But still, the Bad Batch being this high is wild. Wow. Book of Boba Fett from the top ropes, out of nowhere. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Okay. Now that we've seen that, let's switch gears a little bit here because this is completely unrelated to what we've been talking about today, but still ridiculously cool. Cameron Monaghan, you know, the guy who plays Cal Kestis in the Jedi games, was asked about coming to live action. You heard that correct. Take a look at this.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor movie. Would you want to come as...
Sorry, hang on. That's really quiet. Let me turn that up. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. I think this... Let's see.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor movie. Would you want to come as Cal Kestis?
No. Nah. I'm busy. Yeah. Would you like me to do that?
Would we like him to do that?
Check my schedule. Thanks, buddy.
Question. Thank you so much. Star Wars Jedi.
So here's the thing. Well, first and foremost, tell me in the comments, do you want Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis in live action? Yes or no? Would you like to see him in any sort of the kid asks a Jedi Survivor movie, which obviously would not happen, but a Cal Kestis show maybe. But him appearing in something like Ahsoka Season 2, him appearing in something along the lines of The Heir to the Empire, Dave Filoni's movie. The only thing that I think, and somebody brought up, yeah, they should have done this already. The only reason I think that they haven't done this yet is because the trilogy is not over. Because the third installment of the Cal Kestis games has not been released yet. So we might not see him in live action until that happens. We might not get Cal Kestis anywhere near a live action project until we get the third game. Now, the good news about that is we could be getting that third game as soon as next year. So, all right, let's put this up in a poll. Let's put it up in a poll. By the way, 81% of you guys think that we will be seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi in Ahsoka Season 2. I agree. I think we will. But let's put this up in a poll. Do you think Cal Kestis will be in Ahsoka Season 2? Now, the reason I put Ahsoka Season 2 is because they could do it in reverse. They could use Ahsoka Season 2 and Cal Kestis' live-action debut as promotional material to get the third game. You could have people go, you remember this guy you saw in Ahsoka Season 2 and you loved so much? Now play as him in the third installment of his video game trilogy. Now, the likelihood of that happening is probably very low. However, in Ahsoka Season 2, you're dealing with Night Sisters. You're dealing with Dathomir, which is a location that you can go to in the Jedi games. And it just so happens that Cal Kestis is dating a Night Sister, is dating Merrin. So the possibility of, there's clearly a connection there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But the possibility of seeing him in live action in Ahsoka Season 2 are not zero by any means. But I wouldn't say they're very high. Because again, I think they want the third game to come out first, to not spoil the fact that he survives that long. He is a Jedi survivor, but that's a lot longer that he would have to survive for. Yeah. So what do we think? True. Yeah. Dave brings up a great point. A lot of normie fans don't really know, if you're not a gamer, you don't know who this character is. So you need a lot of explanation for all that. But when you have the Night Sisters already involved with Ahsoka Season 2, you have Thrawn back as the heir to the Empire, you have Dathomir being the main planet of this second season, it seems very easy for this to be the segue to introduce people that don't know of the video games to this character. And Cameron Monaghan, I saw somebody mention it earlier, calling him the best Joker ever. He is an incredible actor. In terms of live action stuff, he is incredible. So it's not like you're bringing over a voice actor or somebody who's never acted before. You're bringing over a fan favorite character who just happens to be a great actor as well. It seems like a no-brainer. Yeah. He also has the connection to Tanalorr, which makes things even more interesting when you got future Jedi Orders and Starfighter and all that connective pieces as well. Because Cal Kestis could very well be involved in Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. If you're going to go down that route, he could be he's a survivor of Order 66. He's got this insane amount of knowledge that would be very helpful to Luke Skywalker, would be very helpful to Ezra Bridger, and whatever other Force users happen to be around at the time. It's not a matter of if he will come to live action, it's more of a matter of when. In Ahsoka Season 2 is just the first place that he could appear in. Yeah, that's just the first one coming up. Yeah. Cal wasn't a part of Luke's temple that we know of. He certainly could have made some, guest appearances at the Jedi Temple. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Okay. Having said that, talking about Dathomir as a planet, we got to talk about this. I know we briefly touched on it last stream, but we've really got to dive into this. So, the question of the day for you guys is, what planet is this? I need to know, chat. I don't want more questions. I want answers. What planet do you think this is? This is from the Ahsoka trailer. We have 3 planets. Dathomir, of course. Big red planet. Can't miss it. You can't miss it. This is some other planet. It's blue. I think it could be Corellia. It could be Mandalore. It could be a bunch of different planets, but I think Corellia because of Thrawn getting a fleet and the Star Destroyers that he has. Then there's this one. A greenish-looking planet. Nal Hutta. Okay. Nal Hutta is an interesting take. The problem with Nal Hutta, and actually I'll bring this up too. Hang on, because this post also says Nal Hutta with sort of a reason as to why. Oh, hang on. So, Lord Janu Coin says the Imperial Remnant had a relationship with the Hutts. So did the New Republic. Maybe after the Mandalorian and Grogu, they go to Nal Hutta after it got bombed to check for survivors, and the New Republic arrives, so that's why there's a battle that looks like it could be over Nal Hutta. The reason that if this is indeed Nal Hutta, it changes things so drastically when it comes to Ahsoka Season 2 is because now you would be very likely to be seeing more Mando characters. We know for a fact that Zeb Orrelios is in Ahsoka Season 2. And Zeb Orrelios just happened to be at Nal Hutta when that battle happened and they bombed the twin Hutts and they're, dead now. All the Hutts that were in there are dead now. This huge power vacuum for that the Mandalorian and Grogu created for the underworld is clearly going to be felt in Ahsoka Season 2, but this would make things so much crazier for Ahsoka Season 2. It would make the two projects way more intertwined than we thought they would be. The events of The Mandalorian and Grogu would directly impact Ahsoka Season 2, which is not at all what I thought would happen. We could get more Rada the Hutt. We could get more Zeb Orrelios, which we know we are going to get, but we could get Din and Grogu. At that point, we could get Din and Grogu. The only difference, I guess, would be that Din and Grogu did leave the New Republic at the end of the movie. They went off to go back home to Navarro. But Zeb is there. Carson Teva is there. Rada the Hutt is there. Even General Ward. Imagine if Sigourney Weaver makes an appearance in Ahsoka Season 2. So, my first theory for this was At-Aten. Because how crazy would it be if Thrawn went to At-Aten and we got the Old Republic Mint and he was trying to find it and he gets the power to use all the amount of credits that his heart could possibly desire. That would easily connect us to Skeleton Crew. That would easily give us a very through line through the entire Mandoverse and interconnect all these different projects. However, if this is indeed Nal Hutta, that makes The Mandalorian and Grogu even more important of a movie, which to some fans is a big deal. Because a huge complaint for The Mandalorian and Grogu movie was that it was not connective enough to other things around it. But if it's directly setting up Ahsoka Season 2, it's directly setting up Thrawn's plans in this huge battle between the New Republic and the Imperial Remnant above the planet, then it changes the way you even watch The Mandalorian and Grogu. Because now the aftermath of that turns into the heir to the Empire. And it's even more involved than we ever thought it would be. Not just the power vacuum that the Hutts being gone created, but now this huge battle that happens over the planet that Din and Grogu just happened to be on.
This is where the fun begins.
Well, let's talk about AT-ATN for a second, because I think the other option, the best option would be AT-ATN, because right now, Skeleton Crew, it feels out of place. Skeleton Crew is a really great show that not a lot of people watched. The people who did watch it absolutely loved it. It's got, I don't even know what it has on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's a pretty high score from my recollection. And everybody who watched it has very high opinions of the characters and really, really loved the show. The problem was not a lot of people watched it, and the reason for that was because there's no legacy characters involved. It doesn't connect to anything, at least to our knowledge, but the planet of AT-ATN is in very close proximity to Dathomir. The Star Wars galaxy map. Let's bring it up yet again. So, we got this great galaxy map, and right up here in this little section of the galaxy, you have Dathomir, and you have AT-ATN right next to it. So, the reason I think it's more likely AT-ATN than it would be even Nal Hutta would be because of the close proximity where Thrawn is right here on Dathomir to AT-ATN right there. Now, actually, where is Nal Hutta? It would be in Hutt space, I assume. Nal Hutta's right here. So that's pretty far away. Dathomir's up there at the top, right there. Right there to there. That's pretty far away. It's not impossible, obviously. I mean, there's hyperspace lanes for a reason. This could very well be the location in the trailer. But this entire space right now, since The Mandalorian and Grogu is over, is completely up for grabs. And Thrawn's first thing as heir to the Empire might be to take control of it. Might be to go, okay, there's this huge power vacuum where the Hutts just were. I'm going to claim that. So this space right here might end up becoming Thrawn space. Heir to the Empire, big blue meanie space. And that might be where he starts his attack from. If he creates an entire outer rim bubble that he gets as his own space, if he controls from all the way from AT-ATN and Dathomir all the way to Hutt space, then he can just destroy the inner planets. He can go capture Coruscant in one quick swoop. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen because we know that the heir to the Empire does not succeed and Snoke rises to power, the First Order rises to power, but I think that could be his goal. If he finds out that the Hutts were just killed, he might go straight there to claim the power that they had. Because he would know better than anybody that the Hutts have this absurd amount of power. But if that's not the case, and this is AT-ATN, it would also connect to Skeleton Crew, and I think still AT-ATN is the better option. It's just, it could be either way. It could go either way. And actually, out of the corner of my eye, I just realized this. Baldemnik is on the galaxy map. I did not know that. That's wild. So Baldemnik, if you don't know, is the planet from the Acolyte where Plagueis is in the cave, where the Stranger goes for a swim. And in Legends, Baldemnik is actually the planet where Darth Plagueis kills his master, Tenebrous. And this is the planet where the Cortosis comes from. Sorry. Quick side note. Just got distracted by the galaxy map. I mean, you can look at this thing for days because Baldemnik is right there. You want to see something crazy? You want to see how crazy the Star Wars galaxy is? Oh. Baldemnik is right there. Right above it is Ossus. This is where Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple is. So from Plagueis in the cave in the Acolyte to Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple right there. And then, if you want to make things even crazier, you go up a little bit right here is Niemos, which is where Andor goes to hide in Andor season 1, sorry. And this is where he gets arrested and then gets sent to the prison with Kino Loy. So these three planets all right next to each other have nothing to do with each other, but are very cool nonetheless. And then Felucia right there. That's where Felucia. Why can't I think of her name? Aayla Secura. That's where Aayla Secura dies during Order 66. So you can literally look at this all day long and just be like, oh, that planet is that planet is that. But don't get distracted because Dathomir is right next to At-Aten, and they could be going for the Hutt space with Nal Hutta. So the question still stands. What do we think this planet is? Where do we think this planet is? It could be somewhere else. Could absolutely be somewhere else. What do we think? Thrawn space? Could be. He could do a blockade. He could for the Outer Rim type deal. It's possible. But the other thing with this is I don't see why the New Republic would have this many forces over Nal Hutta. Because they come in with a very small strike team, go in and save Din and Grogu, and then get out. And Rada, I guess, and then get out. With At-Aten, we know that there is now a New Republic facility there. Or at least the New Republic has a presence there. Not so much on Nal Hutta. Yeah. Mike, hear me out. Thrawn controls the First Order at first, and then Snoke takes over after he loses or retreats after being defeated. I think something similar to that will happen, but I think Thrawn will set up the First Order. Like, he might be the reason that the First Order looks the way that it does, the reason that it has all these upgraded weapons and ships and all that. But I think that Thrawn might get stabbed in the back by Snoke. Maybe literally with a lightsaber, which would be crazy. But I think Thrawn's downfall will be the thing that he helped create, which is the First Order. So yeah, similar, but different. Okay, put up a poll. All right, let's put this up in a poll. Let's put it up in a poll. By the way, you guys are not on board the Cal Kestis and Ahsoka Season 2 bandwagon. Not at all. Okay, I get it. Okay, fine, sure. 78% of you say no, you don't think Cal Kestis will be in Ahsoka Season 2. 22% do say yes, though. I think it's very unlikely, but not impossible. Okay, let's do this. What planet is that? Is in the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer. Or, well, let's put it a little bit differently. What is the green planet in the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer? Your options are going to be At-Aten. Can't say I remember no At-Aten. Nal Hutta. Or other. I'll put an other. And other could be literally anything. So I'll put another. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Ba, ba, ba. You still haven't done Collins? Do you guys want to do some Collins? We can do Collins. Let's do some Collins. If you're not yet already, there's a link in the description to a Discord. Could be Dagobah or Obadiah. Could be. But why would we be going to either of those places? And why would the New Republic be at either of those places? All right, if you're not yet already, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. I'm going to open up a stage in there called Call-ins, and you can call in, just like it's a radio station or something, and raise your hand, and we can get you on in here, and I'll ask you some questions about Ahsoka Season 2 and Starfighter. Sound good, chat? All right, I just opened up the stage, and I will keep an eye on it for now. But Nal Hutta or At-Aten, what are we thinking? Either way, it's clearly going to be extremely important, and it's a very blink you miss it type thing in the trailer where you see a lot of Dathomir. You don't see a lot of these other planets. And there's two. There is a blue one as well. But you got Dathomir, you got this blue one, which could be Corellia. I think it's going to be Corellia. And then this green one, which is just completely a mystery. All right, here's the call-in stage. I'm going to put it over here so I can keep an eye on it, just in case anybody wants to call in, and we'll go from there. All right. So somebody also mentioned that this is concept art from Ahsoka Season 2. So you got this right here, where there's a green planet below the Ghost and the Phantom. So if the Ghost is there, I really don't know. I don't know. It seems like Thrawn is going to attack the New Republic first, though. It's not going to be the opposite way around. And he's obviously going to declare war on the Rebel Alliance, as we hear in the trailer, but he's not going to be waiting around to be attacked first. He's going to be the one who strikes the first blow. Yeah. Indeed. Okay. You guys are crazy. You guys are insane. All right. But continuing on that same sort of thing, we talked about this last stream, but I want to bring it up again because it's insane. We talked about possibly Ahsoka dying last stream, or the end of her character, at least season 2 being the end of Ahsoka as a series for sure. But this is what Rosario Dawson said, and it still has got people rattling their minds for, what the hell she's talking about here.
And take it on as a fan first on. I won't say anything, but I can tell you every single day I'm always like, I get to know this before anyone. I mean, there was one thing I'll say in the final episode, and I'd had a conversation with Dave about it, and he sent me a draft of it that he only sent to me. And I was in tears just to be in that position. It was just so special. And now we get to share it with the world. So
she's the only one getting the draft. She's bawling her eyes out because of it. The more and more I watch this clip, the more and more I think Ahsoka Tano might die in Ahsoka Season 2. It's crazy. It is crazy. But you have to remember that Ahsoka as a character was originally created just to be the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. And in the Clone Wars, Dave Filoni was trying to write endings for this character, trying to kill her off because she didn't exist in the prequels, she didn't exist in the originals, and she's the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. So she has to die. But they figured out a way where she leaves the Jedi Order and doesn't have to die. So she survives. But at the time, you've even heard in interviews Ashley Eckstein talking about different ways that Ahsoka was going to die, which was to Asajj Ventress and to all these other people, to Darth Vader in Rebels, which she almost does. The death of Ahsoka has been written out many, many times. So it's not as if this character cannot die. She's going to have to eventually. So do you think that she's actually talking about a death here or something else? What would get her this emotional, and what would only she be able to see? Why would it only pertain to her?
in the final episode, and I'd had a conversation with Dave about it, and he sent me a draft of it that he only sent to me. And I was in tears just to be in that position. It was just so special. And now we get to share it with the world. So I hope that you have even a fraction of the reaction that I had, because
I hope I have a fraction of the reaction she had too. We're sitting here watching Ahsoka Season 2 bawling our eyes out. My God, what's going to happen? Now, I've already said quite a bit that I think that Hera Syndulla is going to die in this second season, but there is no reason for Dave Filoni to send Rosario Dawson the script for something like that. So that's not at all what she's talking about here. It must pertain to the character of Ahsoka. And the court jester brings up maybe she's becoming the daughter. Why would she be so emotionally moved if that's what we're talking about? Why would she even... That doesn't make any sense. If she just takes the role of the daughter, that would be like, oh, cool. That's something cool that happened. It wouldn't really be like, oh my God, I'm so emotional, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. There's only a few things that could happen that would make that happen. And one of them being her death. It sounds to me like she was crying because she was touched that he sent it only to her and not about the script itself. I don't think so. Why would she get so... Well, then she goes on to say, I hope you guys are have a fraction of the reaction that I had. That doesn't make any sense. Dave Filoni's not sending me scripts. Unless he wants to. Dave, shout out to you. I'll take a script. No, he's not sending scripts to us. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Maybe she learns that she has to leave for Mortis and never return. There could be, I guess, an emotional goodbye between Ahsoka and Sabine that almost feels like a death. I'm not going to go as far as to say that I'm going to, mic drop on Ahsoka. I don't think I'm going to kill her off. Not yet, at least. But if this continues, this is just the first glimpse at it. But if this continues, if we get more of Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson teasing that she might die, might change my tune a little bit. I might start trying to kill her off as I did Din Djarin in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which, by the way, I was very close to accomplishing. He almost dies in that film, but that's besides the point, I guess. It's possible that she does die. I'm just not there yet. I don't think she's going to die yet. I still think Harrison Dula will die, but not Ahsoka Tano. Give me a couple months, give me another trailer, and maybe I will change my mind. Give me more interviews like this where she's saying that she's very, emotional when it comes to the ending of the series. It definitely makes it seem like it's going to be the last time we see the character of Ahsoka. Yeah. Mike, I have a question for you. What would you think if Nihilus became the post-sequels villain and returns by his mask, and he wouldn't be Sith since he wanted to consume entire galaxies exclusive? No. I mean, I want to see Nihilus done in the Old Republic era, but to bring him back to life for a post-sequel world where he's the main villain just doesn't really make a lot of sense. I get bringing him back with his mask. We've done that before, but no thanks. Just do Nihilus while you do all the other Old Republic stuff. You don't need to bring him to the post-sequel. There's plenty of villains. There's plenty of villains when it comes to a post-sequel world that we can tap into. You got the Grisk, you got the Vong, you got Abeloth, you got possibly Darth Talon now with Devon Izara. There is plenty of new villains for a post-sequel world. We don't need to be reaching into the thousands and thousands of years before to do that. No. Absolutely not. I'm hoping it's Abeloth, but we'll see. We shall see. All right, let's take a gander over here. I think we already watched that. We already watched this. We talked about that. Captain Pelion returning. We did Starfighter. We did those. We did that. Oh, this. We already talked about that actually too. All right, I think we hit it all. I think we got to pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. I'm sure I will forget, and then by the next stream, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this, blah, blah, blah. I do have a big video coming out tomorrow talking about all this Clone Wars live action stuff and everything that comes out beyond that. So watch out for that video tomorrow. A short happening in about an hour, give or take, hour 15. Oh, we got some call-ins. All right, let's do a call-in real quick. Oh, we got Brent in here. Brent, let's get Brent in. Let's do a couple call-ins before we get on out of here. Brent,
yeah, let me mute my video here.
I want to see
that
that.
I'm watching. Okay, I paused it. Hello, Mike. This is Brent.
How's it going, Brent?
Pretty good. I'm really looking forward to the things that are going on in 2027.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Ahsoka season 2, Maul Shallow season 2, and Starfighter, and the re-release of 1977 Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess my first question to you then would be, which one of those are you most excited for?
Man, I think Starfighter.
Wow. Any reason why?
I don't know. It's gonna be kind of fresh, you know. It's gonna be our first glimpse into the world beyond Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, for sure. That is very exciting. I like new and beyond. I like that a lot. In terms of Ahsoka season 2, you watched that trailer. What did you think? Who do you think that guy is in the Clone Wars flashbacks with the new lightsaber? Any thoughts?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah. I
I
like
don't know who you're talking about, really.
and
But
no answer is a good answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do you have any idea when the Jedi 3 will come out of the Survivor series?
Yeah, we don't know for sure. We don't have any actual release date or anything like that. But the latest rumor was that we could be getting a gameplay trailer this December at the Game Awards this year. So that could mean it could come out as soon as next year in 2027. I would say at the very latest 2028, but there's no release date yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I think I really like what you do for the Star Wars community, how positive you are. I'm pretty sure some people have accused you of being a you know what, the S word, but I don't think that. You know.
Well, yeah, yeah. I appreciate that, Brett. That's very, very nice of you to say.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we all just, have to be some people that like Star Wars. Because that's somehow a controversial opinion online is liking Star Wars. I don't know how that happened, but here we are.
Yep.
Well, I'll leave you on one last question. I guess we'll pertain it to Maul Shadowlord. Why not? Maul Shadowlord Season 2. Well, my first part of the question would be, do you have any crazy predictions? And my second part would be, do you think Devon Izara will become Darth Talon?
I believe strongly that Devin will become Darth Talon.
Yeah.
I believe that very strongly. And I also believe that maybe rumors of the death of Lawson may be greatly exaggerated.
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, I appreciate you, Brent, for the call in, and I'm going to get you on out of here.
Appreciate it.
All right. There we go. That was awesome. Thank you, Brent. All right, we're going to get Jan in here. I think. Okay, yeah. All right, let's get Jan in here. I love these call-ins. Shout out to Brent. It is not easy to come up on here and talk in front of people. It was very good. He did a great job. Round of applause for Brent. Jan, hello? Jan, are you there? Hello? Jan? King DDD? It's her profile picture is King DDD. Jan, hello? Okay. Jan is not currently with us. I guess we're going to... Jan, I'm really dying to know what you have to say now, so this is killing me. Let's try it again. Jan. Please say something, Jan. I'm dying to know. Oh, here we go.
Hey, hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, had to accept permissions in Discord. So
There you go. No worries. No
Yeah.
worries.
how's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. Could not be doing better. How are you?
Not bad. It's a fantastic time to be a Star Wars fan, right?
Yeah, it is. Okay. My first question to you, I guess, what did you think of the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer?
I mean, of course, half expected it, but at the same time, like it did exceed expectations like massively, right? It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's everything that you kind of hope it would be. You got some Clone Wars flashbacks in there. You got some new stuff coming. You got some hints at what's to show up. You get to see a bit of that Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great time.
Do you have any predictions on who that guy is in the Clone Wars flashbacks that Ahsoka and Anakin are fighting in the forest?
I've said it a handful of times in in the comments there.
Yep.
I actually kind of think that's a young Balin because
Yeah.
I mean, in part because I think he's had some interactions during the Clone Wars that is like it's probably changed a bit of his view on the Jedi, and so he's feeling like maybe it's not for him anymore. Maybe he's trying to find a way to get out of this constant cycle of wars. And so
Yeah.
if he has been influenced by the sun in some way, if he's been drawn to Peridia to maybe expose something that could end all wars in his mind, he thinks he's doing something right. Maybe it doesn't end up being right. So I think that's it's a neat connection between the Clone Wars and maybe an interaction between Ahsoka and Anakin and like where he is now and where Ahsoka finds him later on. So
I
I
would
think
love
that'd be
that.
pretty neat.
No, I would love that. Balin Skull is such an interesting character, and to get a background or a flashback to him specifically would be great. The only problem that I would have with that is that maybe Ahsoka just doesn't remember it, but she doesn't know who Balin is. And she's surprised when Balin knows who Anakin is. So maybe there's something else there. And his lightsaber is very different too. Now, maybe he gets a new orange lightsaber, but I love the new design of the split in the triple-sided lightsaber. And he also has the sun's markings on his face, which you said could be him sort of worshiping the Mortis gods, and that's why he's looking for this power in Ahsoka Season 2. I do like that a lot. I like it quite a bit. I guess my other question to you then would be, what do you think this green planet is that we were just talking about? What do you think? We got Dathomir as red, blue might be Corellia. What do you think the green planet is?
I mean, of course, you're setting me up for this, but I've been saying it again last couple times. I like Mando and Grogu. I'd like this to be Nal Hutta, right? Fits in quite well.
Yep.
I imagine Senator Jonas kind of pissed off at the Adelphi Squadron for going in there and like unilaterally just blowing up the Hutt leadership, and so he might be trying to drag the entire like fleet over there to say, "All right, sorry, Hutts, we're still on your side." And so, if it happens to be that Thrawn decides this is a good time to strike with this random fleet over here just kind of not paying attention, it might be a good time to take out a chunk of the fleet and maybe even finally take down Hera, after all those times where she's kind of squeaked away from him.
Are you implying that Hera Syndulla is going to die in this second season right now?
I mean, you never know, right? Anything's possible. So we'll see.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. Okay. No, I do like the Nal Hutta thing. It also even goes deeper into the Shadow Council, because how much does Thrawn really know? And Janu Coin, of course, is the one who gives away the Hutts and all that. So how much is he involved with the Shadow Council now that he is back? And how much information does he actually know right away? Do you think there's going to be any type of, and I'll leave you on this last question, do you think there's going to be any type of time jump? Maybe not like a big one, but any type of time jump between season 1 and season 2?
I mean, I think Sabine's hair is kind of given that way a little bit, right? So, I would imagine a couple of years, but like it's hard to tell really, because where does Mando and Grogu take place even? So, I mean, I imagine a few years, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I guess the two Skeleton Crew and Mandalorian and Grogu are definitely in between the projects. So that's at least a couple months, maybe a year. Years is a long time though, especially if they're
It's true.
like Thrawn just got back. They're gonna wait a couple of years to go find him. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
but
he might be trying to build up too, right? He needs a bit of time to get things together, to get people in line, right? So,
True. Well, I appreciate you for calling in, Jen. I really, really do.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate what you do. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. You don't thank me. I thank you. God. Okay. Jeez, Chan. Killing off Hera Syndulla, trying to thank me for what I do.
I got a bad feeling about this.
All right, maybe we'll do one or two more call-ins here, and then we'll get on out of here if anybody wants to call in. A round of applause for Jan in the chat. Gotta love that. Balin Skull. Young Balin would be really cool. If we get flashbacks to explaining and exploring Balin even more as a younger character, that would be great. His relationship with Anakin, and maybe even some more ties to the Mortis gods. The biggest thing that I have with that is whatever flashbacks we get has to explore and explain the Mortis gods, because what other purpose would there be to getting a flashback if not to explain what is happening in current day? It doesn't make any sense. There needs to be a purpose for it, and the Mortis gods seem to be that purpose. Balin Skull might be involved in that, but it has to be Mortis god centered. 100%. But having said that, I'm going to close down this. Oh, wait, never mind. We got one more person. Oh, never mind. Forest Dragon, if you want to go. All right, let's do it. The Forest Dragon, let's get you on in here. We'll do last one of the day right here. Hello there.
Hello. Hello there, General Kenobi. This is awesome. I didn't know. I didn't know how this worked. I was like, which button do I press?
I don't even know how this works. I don't know how anything works, honestly. What did you think of the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer?
Oh, I loved it. It was like, I was practically vibrating in my seat. Like, I was over the moon for it. It was awesome.
Love that. Who do you think this mysterious guy is in the flashbacks to the Clone Wars?
Um, I've I have actually I don't really know. He has to be some sort of fallen Jedi, or maybe like a night. No, it wouldn't be a night brother. But I don't know. I don't know. Do you have any
Hey,
ideas?
oh, I have plenty of ideas. The biggest one I think would be that this is some sort of false memory thing that's clouding what Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan did in the Mortis arcs. And now the reason that he has the same face paint and stuff as the son is because it's a sort of a fake memory that just takes the place of her going to Mortis. And Force Ghost Anakin is now trying to help her remember, sort of like Luke helped Grogu remember in the Book of Boba Fett. It's a really long and convoluted theory that I have, but it's just so crazy that it might work. Okay, it's just so crazy it might work.
I like that theory. I like that
Hey,
theory.
I'll take it. But what do you think about the green planet we were just talking about? Do you think it's Nal Hutta? Do you think it's At-Atten? Do you think it's something else?
I like the idea of At-Atten, but I have another suggestion. I think it could be Obadiah because we don't really know what. I mean, as far as I know, we don't really know what happens to the Pikes after um what's the word after the prequel
Solo?
trilogy. I mean,
Yeah.
we know yeah, we know it from Solo and from the Clone Wars and Maul Shadow Lord, but we don't really know, like, did the Pikes fall apart?
Yeah.
So maybe Thrawn's going back to there for a similar reason as he would go to At-Atten to kind of assimilate their resources and because they were a very powerful syndicate.
Yeah.
Heck, he could even do that with things like Crimson Dawn and stuff, since we don't really know what happens to them after Episode 6 either.
I love that. If we're tying into Kira and the Crimson Dawn, I'm all for that. I do like the Pike theory though because yeah, we don't know what happens to them. I guess they do appear in the Book of Boba Fett, but even after that, we don't know what happens to them. I do like that a lot. If we're tying into that, would set up Book of Boba Fett season 2. That could set up a lot of things. I do like that quite a bit. What about the blue planet? Do you think it's Corellia? Do you think it's something else?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense it would be Corellia because, I mean, isn't Corellia Corellia is a very influential planet, or at least it was in the Republic and
Yeah.
during the Empire, wasn't it? So, um, I mean, it makes sense. Heck, it could also be it could be Camino because I don't know, but
No, cloning. I like it.
maybe Thrawn's yeah, maybe Thrawn's going back to Camino to see if there's anything there, but I don't know. I don't think anything left is there unless he finds a way to uh, bring it back up from the ocean depths.
I love it. All right. Well, my last question for you is going to be: which 2027 project are you most excited for? You got Maul Shadow Lord season 2. You got Ahsoka season 2. You got Starfighter. You got the re-release of A New Hope. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'd probably say Ahsoka season 2 since it comes out on the 20th and my birthday's on the 17th. So it's kind of
Oh,
like a birthday present for me.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm also like super excited for Starfighter and all that. And yeah,
Yeah, love that. I'm also most excited for Ahsoka season 2, but hey, it's a late birthday present for you. That's awesome. All right, well, I appreciate you for the call in, Force Dragon. I'm gonna get you on out of here.
appreciate you. God bless you.
Yeah, you too. Okay, awesome. Another successful, somewhat call-ins. I mean, I don't know what Jam was doing, killing off Harrison Dula. Really, really odd. I don't know what came over him. I'm gonna end this stage and then. So Ahsoka season 2, of course, this trailer was the highlight of the week, and I'm sure it will be the highlight for a long, long time. We'll be breaking this down until we get the next trailer. And it might not be that long till we get the next trailer with all these Starfighter reports coming out, and they're going to have to start marketing this movie somewhat soon. Now we're talking live-action Clone Wars. We're talking Obi-Wan Kenobi coming back in Ahsoka season 2. Ewan McGregor being in London while they were filming, talking to Dave Filoni on the set of Ahsoka season 2. Crazy, crazy, craziness. What a great time it is to be a Star Wars fan. You look at the Disney Plus numbers and it really is great. You got to love that. And I appreciate you all for calling in. It is quite the hard thing to do. But let me end this poll before we get on out of here. Whoa, this is pretty split down the middle here. Which planet do you think that green planet is in the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer? 48% of you say @Atten. 26% say Nal Hutta. 26% say other. Pretty split down the middle right there. All right, but we did just pass the 2-hour mark. You know how crazy Star Wars news has been lately? We haven't had 2-hour live streams in a long time. In the last 8 days, we've had 3 2-hour live streams, pretty much, almost, and then a 3-hour live stream. So 3 2-hour live streams, and then 1 3-hour live stream for D23. Craziness. We've had so much to talk about, so much to break down, so much to go. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But I appreciate you all for being here. Go keep the conversation going in the Discord if you are not yet already in there. Become a member to the channel if you're not already. We got a giveaway coming up next week. End of the month. You get a giveaway for the members, so watch out for that. And yeah, until next time, may the Force be with you. Always. Oh my God, Chopper, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. I mean, come on. Like, it truly is the greatest time to be a Star Wars fan. These last 7 days have been absolutely insane. But watch out for a video tomorrow. Watch out for a short tonight. And watch out for, live stream on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday for the rest of your lives. But until next time, smash a freaking like in this stream if you have not already. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.